You like that? I got a little fancy there. Kind of upgrading. I gotta
see.
keep up with legend to legend, bro.
I
Um,
see you. I see you getting a little fancy on me, bro. That's okay.
hey,
You got to keep up with the
God,
times, man.
brother, I've been needing this interview. The people have been asking for this chop shop, and honestly, man, I feel so appreciated when you come on my show. What you've done in this sport, what you've accomplished in this sport, all the lives that you've created, all the walks that you've mentored, brother. It's just an honor for me to be your brother. So without further ado, the one and only, the legendary, we rolling, baby, Mr.
All
Burt
night long.
Watson. you
Thank you.
know,
Appreciate you.
bruh,
Appreciate you.
always. I love you, bro. You know that, and I'm gonna kind of start tonight's show off because I don't want you to think, I'm the police and get up out of your chair like you did last time, and me scare you, get real deep. But what I really want to know is, in a simple rhetorical aspect, what really made Burt Watson fall in love with the sport that we know and love?
I found my niche back in I'd say the early 90s, late 80s or so. Because believe it or not, man, I was, when I got out of the Marine Corps and moved to New York, Manhattan, I worked in the fashion industry. Okay. I wore a three-piece suit and hand-tied bow ties. Okay. And I think I was probably one of the few people from Philly back in the day that knew how to hand tie a bow tie. But I did. And I used to wear a little chapeau. I always had my head covered. Uh, and just by chance meeting twice with Smoking Joe Frazier, that I transitioned from fashion to combat sports, boxing first, and that transition to boxing with Joe in the, I'd say, mid to late '80s, and I found my niche, staying with Joe, and eventually with him, I got to meet some of the. I mean, first of all, I got introduced to the sport of boxing and the world of boxing at a very high level. Okay, what bigger introduction could you have into boxing than Smoking Joe Frazier? So with that introduction and moving on along and getting to work with Joe and Don King, Butch Lewis, and Bob Arum and Lou Duva, and all those guys, it I began to like it. I began to enjoy what I was doing, and it was fascinating. First of all, because I was put in a position that I was totally unfamiliar with, baby. As far as working with fighters or being in combat sports at a high level, totally strange to me. Something that I totally had no awareness of. So when I did, it was fun. It was definitely it was a lot of fun. I got my introduction. I got to meet a lot of people. I got to work with a lot of different people, and that was also my introduction to working with professional athletes. I had never worked with athletes before, and that was my introduction to working with professional athletes at a high level. And that, to say the least, was interesting because it opened up a whole new world. a world of undisciplined discipline, if you know what I mean.
I feel you.
You know, because the discipline came with the training and the gyms and the workouts and the schedule, and the undisciplined because everybody was on their own. You know, it's everybody had their own little world. You came out of the gym, you had three corner people. Those were your people. Those were your gym rats. Those were the people at the fight, before the fight, after the fight, during the fight. You know, so it was kind of an undisciplined discipline type of situation that was nothing but fun, man, and nothing but good people. I got nothing but good things to say about my entire career in boxing and my transition to MMA. Nothing. Working in all facets of combat sports has been off the chain to me, man. It's been a
It's
fun
beautiful,
ride,
bro.
baby,
You know,
and meeting good people. You know.
man, I ain't nobody. I needed this show, bro. My sanctity was lost. I called you, bro. I was like, everybody asking for you, but I need you. I said, I need you, baby. But I got a lot of comments. I'm gonna get to them real quick, and then we'll get because you got a lot of people that love you, homie. Gosh, all you people filling up my comments. But I love each and every one of you. Paul Driscoll, Little Holmes, one of Larry Holmes' good friends, says, hello, Don. Hello, Burt, sir. God
What's up,
bless you.
Paul?
And then
What's up,
he
baby?
says, smoking.
All night long.
Tremendous photographer in the sweet science. And it's kind of like a mama to me. She said, hi, Don. I shared this in all my boxing groups. You know, I love you for that, and I appreciate you for that. Uh,
That's awesome, man. That is awesome.
a fellow Marine says, hello, brother Don, and Semper Fi, Burt,
Semper Fi, baby.
all day long. And
Yes, sir.
then a good friend of yours and a good brother of mine, good brother both of ours, actually, Mr. Bill Clancy says, Happy New Year, brother Burt. He said, I
What's up,
miss you.
Bill?
We all miss him, you know. But he
Yes.
right. That's why I gotta do these shows, bro, because life has just been rough, you know. A tremendous brother of mine from Tennessee said, "Great to be on with Burt." Excuse me, with you and
Tennessee.
Burt.
What's the weather like out there in Tennessee, baby?
And
It is cold as heck out here in Philly.
bro, it's ice cold here, man. A young gentleman in life that I look at like a son, Giovanni Gavazzoni. He says, "Much respect, my friend. You know, I love the youth, bro, and we're gonna get to that because that's where I'm gonna take tonight's show in a roundabout way, you know." And we're going to clarify something right now because this young man knows, I know, but I want the world to know. We've talked about this till we's blue in the face. You
I
just
see
brought it up.
Nate Warren.
Nate Rand. He's
Nate
a
Rand.
young photographer and a young boxer that I kind of took under my wing, and I love the kid to death. He says, "Is he the same Burt Watson who managed Joe Frazier?" You bet your sweet bottom he is. And not only that, they have fish and grits at Mama's house, bro.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
and,
indeed. God rest
and
his. You know what?
yeah,
Joe
his
just had a
yeah,
birthday.
yeah,
But you know, January is is a month for four champions.
yeah.
You had
One
Joe
month.
Frazier, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, and Floyd Patterson. All of their birthdays are in January.
Yes, sir.
All four champions.
Jonathan Cole says, "Thank you for sharing all you do, Burt. A show of two legends here, bro. You know, I'm gonna take the title legend. He's a true legend. I'm a legend, but you know, I don't want my ass. Well, pardon my French, but Burt told me one time, bro, you better call yourself what you earn. You know,
Real.
Burt, you understand me. You know me. I'm just truly a humble man, and you know, it's just my walk in this sport is like yours. I didn't come in it to get accolades. I didn't come in it. to get attaboys and, just I was given an opportunity in life. So I came into the sport to give and give. And I still continue to give today. The people that come into the sport for the wrong reason are living in $1 million houses, driving $70,000 to $120,000 car. I drive a $15,000 beater. I live in a 200. Well, it was $68,000 when I bought it, but now it's $240,000. I'm in this sport because I see potential in these kids. I love these
Yes,
kids. I
yes,
don't want
yes.
these kids to get hurt. I don't want these promoters to screw them over. But we'll get to that in a minute because these comments
And
just keep rolling in. Go
and
ahead, baby.
that's 100%. What you see behind me there, that's what I come in and I live for. And that's
Amen.
the memories that we get from the people that we meet, like all the people that are calling in right now and listening to us. Those are the things that I will be able to talk about and talk with someone for the rest of my life. Because they will always be there and they will always be real. There is absolutely no doubt. Once I always say a friend is somebody you can sit down and get up and walk away and not be talked about. That's it for real. And this business gives you memories that you can sit down and think about and get up and walk away and not be talked about. Period. As long as you don't listen to that other SHIT.
And that's hard to do, bro, because the minute you walk away, they slandering you. They blaspheme your name. But the thing about you, Burt, my brother from Canada, tremendous man. He says legends. And Burt, you truly are a legend, brother. Because you came into the sport from the love of your heart.
Yes.
You know, and what I've seen you do, what I've seen you give, what I've seen you create, no man in this industry, and if there is, show me, because ain't no man in this industry care about a fighter as much as Burt Watson. And I'm not saying it because he's on the show. I'm saying it because I've seen it. I've worked with Burt. I know Burt. Burt will take a bullet for a fighter.
Two of them.
So,
you
him
know,
one in the chamber.
And what that gets you is that as yourself, I've been in this business and I've seen the things, the way things are going. And I want to tell you a little story, which I probably have said on your show before, but I'll say it again because some people might have forgotten it. Back in the early 80s, I did a show, early to mid 80s. I did a show, and I did a show in California, and as a coordinator, and I won't do him justice by mentioning his name, but the promoter, there was a young guy on the card. Back in the day, you was getting $30 a round.
Right.
Okay, easy. You were doing good if you got $50 a round. And this young fighter fought the fight. He got $30 a round and still had to pay for his eye test. Now you figure that. At 120, and the eye test was 40 or 50, something crazy like that. And that's what he got. And he came to me and he said, Mr. Burt, he said, this is my check. And he showed me his check. And it was just enough to put gas in his car to get home. The worst part of that was that it was a check, and it was Saturday, so he couldn't cash it. So
And hope Monday that it didn't bounce.
right, so he couldn't get home, and I gave him what I had in my pocket, and I think it was $60-$70 was what I had in my pocket. But I said at that point that I was going to make it my goal in life, or try, as long as I worked to fight, I was never going to let another fighter get mistreated. I made my mind up then that I would never let another fighter get mistreated as long as I was around or could help to make it happen the right way and not let that happen to him. So from that point on, I started becoming more invested in the fighter, in their journey, and didn't matter to me how they got there, because I'm a hood rat from Philly. I know how most fighters get in that ring, okay, and the route that they take to get in there. So I know that, but what they put in there, they deserve to get back from somebody. So I was going to make sure that I looked out for fighters against anybody that was going to put them in a ring, a cage, or an octagon, or whatever it is, and not take care of them. And you know what? Still today, guys are beefing for the money that they're making. That probably will always be. But you're only going to get what you ask for, what you demand, and what you take. So you got to remember that. If somebody give you a half a penny and you take a half a penny, they're gonna give you a half a penny again. Next time they might tell you they owe you that half a penny. So you gotta take it. But fighters, and I'm gonna broaden that a little more. People in general, fighters, professional athletes, and people deserve to be respected, deserve to be treated with respect.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to your profession and what you do for a living and how you make your living. Gotta be. So that's kind of where it came from for me. And it felt good, it worked. And one thing I do know, fighters don't forget. People don't forget when you mistreat them or you treat them right. They don't forget that. And they remember more so when you mistreat them.
If you don't slide over a little bit and get center of this camera, I'm gonna kick your butt with it. There you go, baby.
How's that?
You're perfect. But what you was talking about, you're gonna remember this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I did something, and you said, "Don't you ever underappreciate your value in front of me again."
Yes, sir.
And from that day, I mean, with all the Burtisms and all the knowledge, that sunk in the most, because I let people walk all over me just so I could give to the people that I cherish, just so I could be around the people that I love. People don't understand what me and you really do. It's like, if a fight paid $4,000, I'll say I'd do it for two, just so I could be around the people, so I could watch them, just so I can take care of them. And I've been in this industry 40 years, and
Wow.
I don't love no promoters. Don King called me the other night. Him and Don Dantes Green. Only because they know I'm going in the National Boxing Hall of Fame, and they try, how Don rolled that. Oh, baby, congratulations. I'm 92 years old. Can I have the phone number to the National Boxing Hall of Fame? Yeah, because you want to be inducted. But do people really?
Congratulations, baby.
I'm honestly think you should have went in before me, bro. I'll say it right here because I'm a real man. You know, hey, bro, if we don't stand up, speak up, and say what's up, then the world
Real.
will trample you. I,
Oh, you know what? And leave footprints on you.
you know, and come back just to
And
make
leave
sure.
footprints. Uh-huh. And
You
make
know,
sure that
it's
it's theirs.
but my life came 360. My life came to a full circle. I started in boxing when I got sick this last whatever. I thought boxing was going to leave me behind, forget me, and my life came 360. But my life is a better place because of you. And you're one of my main mentors in this walk. And a fellow classmate of mine and a referee, he says, "I love you two guys, Mr. Bill Clancy." I met
Man,
Bill. I met Bill. It was, I believe, it was the end of '83, the beginning of '84, the creation of the NABF. And
wow. Good.
yeah, I mean, we go back here some time, bro.
You
But
ain't lying. I remember when the IBF started and all that other man. Oof.
Jonathan says it's 4 degrees but snowing in Tennessee.
And what? Wow. That's crazy. I didn't realize that. Wow. Snowing and 4 degrees in Tennessee. Wow. Well, it's snowing here in Philadelphia, Jonathan. Not as bad as it was a couple of days ago, and it's maybe 30 degrees, but 4 degrees. Whew, don't like this crazy weather, man.
How'd that happen? These Canadians love me, and I love Canada. Coach Rob Pelletier says another legendary show with two legend. Coach Rob approved, and I'm gonna get
Oh
one
man.
more. Oh, my man, Giovanni says, "Amen, G. Thank you." Uh, Paul Driscoll says, "Burt, a champion forever." And then
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you, baby.
Brian Holderson says, anything over 25 years of anything is a legend, Don.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you said 40 years?
December 12th was my 40th year.
That's
Uh,
that's you up there with me, bro.
I,
That's a lot. That's a lot. And you know what? It's amazing how the time has gone by so quickly that we both can say we've been doing something aside from living 40 years. Aside from the fact that, this is my big birthday year. It's mind-boggling, mind-boggling. But you know what? Good times, man. Good. I have no bad memories. I've run into a few bad people, but no bad memories. And the bad people that I ran into, I still remember their names. Okay.
I wish I remembered Barney Fife's name. That little hold down little guy down at Biloxi when we were down there. I still love that. I love the look on your face when I snapped and clacked on that cop.
Barney Fife.
but see, bro,
That's what you called him then, Barney Fife.
yeah. But nobody's gonna disrespect Mr. Burt Watson in front of my face, bro. I mean, nobody. And you were there. You're. This is a God's honest truth. This is a true story. I clacked on a cop, and Burt looked at me like, and I was like, "Hey, bro, ain't nobody disrespecting my big bro in front of me."
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. They wasn't. He didn't know why we was in the building. Yeah,
I,
yeah.
that day will always sit in my heart as funny as hell because you told him, bro, I own this promotion.
Get out of your mind. Out of your mind.
Bill Clancy says, "You and me are here for the same reason. We all are, brother. That's why we all friends." I'm gonna get through some of these comments real quick because And then I'm just going to jump into the video because I can't keep, you know, Paul Driscoll says, can't take that away, Burt. Priceless, sir. Jonathan says, you and Burt both have made combat sports a better sport in both your walks. Oh, man. Thank
Yes,
you, Jonathan. Uh,
appreciate it.
you know, Marco Bassani, another tremendous brother of mine, I believe he's from Arizona. He says, I love when you have Burt on the show. Love you, brother. And Rob Pelletier says, memories are the trophies of life, my friends. And my friend from Ireland, Paul Licapopis, says, love Burt. What a legend. And then I believe you know this gentleman, Rick Caruso from BKFC, Slick Rick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, you know, Burt, where did that genuine, pure passion, that love for these fighters, where did that get instilled in your life? Because you did come up in a young, harsh walk in Philly. You know, I
Yeah,
know a lot of people from Philly. Philly ain't no joke, bro. You think Chicago's hard? Go to Philly.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, no, no,
but
Philly's no joke.
what was it that, you know? Because I know you worked for Levi Strauss and Company. I know you were in textile division. We already uncovered that on many shows. But I want to know where the true love. Where was that inspiration? Who was the man or the other person that mentored Burt Watson and gave you the heart for this walk?
If I have to honestly say a person initially in my lifetime, I have to give all respect and praises to my parents, my family, because that's where it started. That's where I got instilled with discipline, mindset, commitment, a game plan. You know, all of those things came from my family upbringing and my background. And then as I got older, I listened to people and remembered things that people said and how they reacted to other people. I was a believe it or not, I was very big into listening to news and various people. And I listened a lot to Martin Luther King. And I listened to John Kennedy, you know, and just listening at how they approached the world with everything that was going on in the world. If you really paid attention and you took notice, it should have made you a better person because you got to see and hear how others should feel and how others should be treated, and you know, once you establish yourself and respect for people around you, the rest of that shit is easy. It's easy to be nice to people when you know that you should respect them. It's easy to be nice when you know how much people put into certain things. And you and I both know how much athletes put into combat sports, into our worlds. You know, it's like it's I don't care what type of person he or she is or where they come from, when that bell rings and they get to throw in them hands, that's a whole different set of world, baby. And to be able to do that for 4 to 12 rounds or whatever it is, for 3 minute rounds or 5 minute rounds, that's a lot. That's a lifetime. And not only that, but you get different. You get. I used to say all the time that when I work with fighters, I got 4 different people during the course of the week. I got the person that showed up for the fight. I got the person that needed to make weight. I got the person after they made weight, and I got the person that showed up fight night. That was 4 different people during the course of the week with each and every fight. But at the end of the night, all 4 of them had to be one. Period. And that's that I put that mindset and I put that in my head, and that's the way I treated all of them. And that's the way I worked with all of them. Because this stuff is no joke. Not even a little bit. I'm sure it's hard enough for you sitting where you're sitting, doing what you do is hard enough.
Yeah, and people don't realize that after 40 years, I'm blind. My lower back is fused. I'm getting ready to get my cervical spine fixed, and I got, one leg, and I still get up and do it because I love every step of this. I want to ask you a really deep question, my brother. I remember many years ago, I asked you, what was it like to be on bended knee and lay that first stone in the creation of Burt Watson? But what's it like now to lay that, you know, semi last stone and fulfill that path that Burt created in this walk that we all love and cherish?
It's rewarding because I don't have any real bad memories. I don't have what some may consider a struggle. I considered willpower. Okay, and a commitment. So my memories are all, and I'm sitting in a room which you can't see very much here, but this room, I have pictures all over these walls of my journey and the people that I've met over the years. And I sit in this room, which is my office, and I can go from this wall to that wall. And I go from 1963 to 2023. All in one swoop.
Right?
So it's rewarding, man, to see it. And I look at pictures of my grandchildren. My oldest grandchild is 27, maybe 28, and my youngest is 15. And it's been a blessing because I don't, like I said, I don't have any bad memories, which is good. So that means between now and whenever this tank runs out of gas, I'm not gonna have any other bad memories. Cause no, it's been good, man. It's been good. It's been fun, and I got good memories, which makes it all worthwhile, baby.
Honestly, you know, I, I'm a very quiet person. I'm introverted, but I just want to say I love you, bro.
Appreciate that, baby, and I know it.
It's hard because on this walk in this business, people say things, people tell you things, but you also know that some people are only meant to be a word, uh, a sentence, maybe even a paragraph, but they're not meant to be your whole book. You've been my whole book though, bruh. We we put in some time together, and it's like I remember that one picture we took. I was cheesing them like a Wisconsin cheese factory, bro. But it's that way when you find people that you love
You
and
want a Burt, you want a Burtism, baby?
yeah, all
If you
day.
can if you can read the eyes, you don't have to read the book.
Amen. I
Remember that.
love that. I really love that. Bill Clancy says Burt Watson will be in the Boxing Hall of Fame. Real talk. You know, he's already getting there, bro. Another brother of mine from I have a lot of Canadian brothers, bro. Another brother of mine from Canada, Gordie Simpson. I believe he's a godson of Gordie Howe, the hockey player. He says,
Really?
"Hurrah, yeah, bro." He says, "Hurrah, Simmer salute, boys. This makes me happy, really happy, so proud." And yeah, and Rick Caruso,
Whose grandson is it?
the great hockey. He's a godson of Gordie Howe, the great hockey player, Gordie
Oh,
Howe.
trust me, I know who that is.
It's Slick Rick
I'm from
Caruso.
Philly.
Yeah, so you know exactly. Slick Rick Caruso says it's -8 degrees here. Gordy says it's -30 Celsius here in Canada.
Jeez.
Bro, you want to talk about hockey? Can we talk about hockey for a second? Let me take you back, bro. This is back when I first got into the sport. I was doing the sport part-time, but I was an engineer for the Hilton. Everybody gonna laugh at me, but hey, I don't care. I like telling stories at my own expense. The general manager of the Hilton said, "Hey, bro, we need somebody to be the Easter Bunny." And I was like, "Bro, I'll do it. It's for the kids. I'll do it." Well, I went in the back. They gave me the bunny outfit. Went back. It wouldn't fit. I was disappointed, bro. I was so upset. Because I brought my wife, my son. They told me to bring my
Right.
family. This is a beautiful Hilton. And so I have to go tell them that it don't fit. And so I grabbed my wife's hand and me and my son, we started to leave. And he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Well, you wanted me to be the Easter Bunny. I can't be the Easter Bunny." And he said, "Bro, go have breakfast in the restaurant." He said, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the LA Kings are up in there. So I go and I sit down. They sit me and my family next to Yadomir Yager, Mario Lemieux.
Wow.
And then about 10, 15 minutes later, I see this little string bean looking 6 foot something dude, and it's Wayne Gretzky. And I was like, bruh. And we're sitting there eating breakfast with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the LA Kings, and I
With
was just
Mario
like,
Lemieux
yeah. And I love me some Yadomir Yager,
and
bro.
Wayne Gretzky. Wow. 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 And
But
I go back, I mean, being from Philly, it's Philly. Philly is absolutely a sports town. All of our sport, all of our major teams have won championships. Flyers in hockey, the Sixers, the Eagles, and the Phillies. So we've all, always had championship teams. But the biggest thing in Philly, it's changed a little now, but it's always been hockey. Hockey was, man, I don't care what neighborhood you were from or where you were from, hockey was Philly. And South
right,
Philly was all hockey, man. Bobby Clark with with the infamous gap smile. It was I've got two Flyers jerseys with my name on them that I've gotten over the years. My years with Joe, we went to, it was one hockey game, and they gave him a jersey and they gave me a jersey with our names on it, and I got them.
tremendous.
So yeah, it's always been, and anybody from Canada, I'm speaking to the choir for Canadian hockey because that's their thing, baby.
You know what blows my mind though, bro? Okay, I use a simple StreamYard. I had my syndicated show that was fourth in the world, and I couldn't afford to do it because I couldn't afford my studio fees for Clear Channel anymore. You know, people think studio time is cheap. You know, when you talk about $26,000 a year for studio
Really?
time at Clear, yeah. Well, because I wanted to bring the best, and
Yes.
you know, and it was like you got interns, you got other people you got to pay, you got you know, and I don't sell out to commercials. You know, they put them in at the beginning, the fit, you know, 14:59 mark, the 29-minute mark, and then right before an hour. You know, they take all the money. I don't get that. You know, people think I made a fortune off the radio show, but I I never thought that I would come and do a podcast and have it be worldwide. You know, it blows my mind from Ho Chi Minh City to Brazil to Africa
Right.
to you name it. And it's like I sat back one night and I thought about it. And I said, what is it? Because I'm not doing well, I just really chat it up. You know, it's really more about my guests than it is about me. But me and you, it's just I just love opening up on these shows. But it made me feel special the other day. I looked at it, I was like in 15 different, you know, countries, 34 different cities worldwide on a simple little podcast. And so my point is
That's
to
awesome.
you people, young people out there that love journalism, the people that inspire, it doesn't have to be sports. It doesn't live your dream. You can do it on a shoestring budget. Don't let people you can't, you know, tell you you can't become something. You know, I do this because I love the people that I surround myself with. I do this because if I don't give these young amateurs and up and comers an opportunity, who will?
100%. 100%. And I they know they well not no I won't say that they know because you only know when you get out there and you get faced with everything, you know. Uh, but it's and we and I could be wrong, you know, as bad as COVID was, it brought a lot of this to the forefront because it took that for people to get creative and to pull back and do things at a cheaper cost but still be very effective. And I saw this when it came along, man. These podcasts and things just opened up. But I can tell you something, man. A podcast today is I listen to more podcasts than I watch television. The only thing I watch on television is Gunsmoke and ESPN.
Right?
And football. Okay, but other than that, you know, I'm listening to a podcast or seeing something on StreamYard. Hey, that's where it's at, man. 100%.
Here's a young fighter. He says, Chris Shaggy Gonzalez says, "Hey, what's up, Burt?" And then he says, "Always loved seeing Burt at BYB Extreme."
Ha
You
ha
know,
ha ha. My
every
man.
fighter loves seeing Burt. You know, I think my bro Chuck Johnson. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he in the Philippines, bro. And he says best in the business. I
Is
could be
that right?
wrong.
In the
Yeah.
Philippines. Wow.
And then Gordy Simpson says, "Great analogy there, Burt." You know, see you don't even know half the Burtisms, you know. And he says, "Those are all my buddies. Very cool, Don." He's talking about the hockey players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh man, this she just retired. Yesterday was her birthday, and so I know when I throw this up here, you already gonna know, baby.
Happy birthday, baby. Yesterday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, baby. Wow.
And for you, those of you that don't know, Pam Cummings is the mother of Zach Cummings, a tremendous UFC fighter
Yeah.
who he did him and Ed Herman both laid their gloves in the center of the octagon together in UFC. Casey, they retired together.
Really?
Yeah, well, Zach said he was never going to have another moment like that in his life. And you feel it. You put all these years into it because I worked many years with Zach. Um, you get that one moment. His daughter ran in the ring. His mama was there. His wife was there. Ed Herman, he beat him, but they both sat in the center of the octagon and hugged. You just couldn't
I
find,
think I saw that. I think I saw
yeah,
that.
you couldn't find a more beautiful
Wow.
moment
Wow.
to
Pam, you
walk
make sure
away.
you tell Zach I said, hey, baby, make sure you do that for me, Pam.
Uh,
Wow.
Paul, I don't understand this comment, but maybe you will. He says Daryl Sittler still has the records, 10 points in one game, Burt.
Wow. That's still a
Yeah,
record?
that's what he's saying. Oh man,
He wouldn't say it
this.
if he didn't know it.
Oh yeah, he's an encyclopedia. This man right here, Stephen
Steven
Espinoza.
Espinoza. Okay.
He lives here in my town. He runs a wrestling thing. He's a tremendous gentleman. I've known this man, gosh, almost the whole time I lived in Springfield. He is the most kind, awesome, genuine individual you can
Now,
ever meet. He's
I
just
know a Steven Espinosa. I don't know if that's the same guy or not, but I know a Steven Espinosa. I can't see that picture, you know.
he has a big fluffy beard, but he says, "What's up, Don and Bert?" It's going down on the fighter's voice. That man. Oh my God, I I can't say how much I love that man. That man. One Christmas, I wanted to do something special for my son.
Mhm.
My pockets was dry. You know how we get paid in this industry, especially people like me.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and that man not only dug into his pocket, but made my son's Christmas the most special Christmas that you can see. That's real people. That's good people
Yeah,
right there,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
just he like. Mm. Gordy Simpson says Mel Bridgman of the old Flyers is also a good friend.
Wow. Mel
Yeah,
Bridge. Jeez. Yeah, that's the
you know,
old hockey. That's old hockey.
yeah. My brother says,
Wow.
"Amen, amigo." And
Wow. You got some good fans there, man.
he's Chuck Johnson says, "That's right, brother. Aussie. He's an Australian in the Philippines for 10 years now."
Wow. Well, that my man right there, and I'm gonna be back on your show, and I'm telling you now, okay. I'm I'm about to put pen to paper, and I'm getting ready to do my book. And you are the first person that I'm telling that to.
Thank
The
you, brother.
first person, aside from the people that's writing it, you're the
Hey,
very first.
I better be a little word in there, though.
And when I get that, I'm gonna come right here, right here on your show, baby.
I love you, baby. I do.
I started about maybe a week, 2 weeks ago. So I'm just putting it. When I say I mean I got a ghostwriter, but it's happening. It's happening.
That's so beautiful.
And I'm very pleased to announce that on your show, my brother. And as soon as it comes that the edition is out on Amazon, I'm gonna come on your show so you can help me sell it.
Hey, brother, I'm gonna help you sell it regardless. But I'm so
All
honored
right.
that you dropped that on my show.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, Chris Shaggy Gonzalez says, appreciate the positivity, Don, always dropping wisdom to the next generation. Well, Bert dropped it to me, and I'm gonna drop it to Giovanni and Nate
That's
Wren and
right. That's right.
the ones that I mentor because that's what real men do.
Yeah,
You
and you
know,
know what we don't know? A lot of people don't realize about the younger generation. And only if you got kids, you know. One thing you know about your kids is that they always doing this. Right or wrong?
amen. You're right.
Always. They always doing this. Sometimes you're like, where the heck did you hear that? That's because they always listening. And that's the way it is with the younger generation. They're always listening. So we should always be very aware and very conscious of what we say or things, because whether you know it or not, somebody somewhere is listening, and they are always listening. You know, they're listening right now to your show, you know, and probably their parents told them to get off that internet.
Right. You
Okay.
know, I'm going to read a couple more comments and then I just want to kind of wrap things up because I'm already into Bert's
Okay.
bedtime. But
Only you know that.
another world does, bro.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Just so everybody knows, when I'm not on the road, 9 o'clock is my done time. I start shutting down around 8:30. I got to, man. I gotta conserve me
but,
and my
yeah,
energy.
let's take it a twist here. But my brother, Paul Driscoll, like I said, they call him Little Holmes. He's a great fan and friend of Larry Holmes. He says, "What music do you like, Bert?"
I like classical music. I listen to classical music, except when I'm in my car. I have an iPad that I have music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, old OG music. I play it when I go to a fight. I got this little thing here, you can see it, that I take with me. But my music of choice during the day and at home is classical and regular R&B. That's it.
See, I listen to everything from classical to really, I mean, just about everything. But if you really want to know, I was BB King's personal photographer for about a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, it was probably one of the greatest year and a halves in my life. You know, sitting there watching him in the back, getting ready to come out on stage, you know, back there practicing. And he didn't like to be bothered, you know.
I
It
understand
was
that.
always, you know, it's just a beautiful moment, man, because you see a man, you say it's a guitar, but when that man holds it, that guitar becomes part of him. And,
That's why he called it Lucille.
oh, yeah. Well, it was some of the greatest moments of my life. You know, another person I got to work with is George Clinton and P-Funk in Parliament. You know, and it's crazy because I sit here. We're known for sports, but a lot of people don't know I shot concerts and worked in the music industry for 20 something years. You know, I got to work with Nelly, Chingy, Murph Lee, Boyz II Men,
Wow.
Wiz Khalifa. I mean, it's crazy, but I had a family to feed.
Yeah,
So
you got to do
if
what you
it
got to
paid,
do, man.
if it
Hey,
paid, I was there.
I do, and it's the same thing with me as a coordinator. I've done boxing, I've done MMA, I've done the Latin billboards, I've done regular billboards, I've done barnyard fights. I'm actually getting ready to do a sumo event. They just coming to the states, and I'm getting ready to do that. So as a coordinator, I do whatever. But my personality, and I'm always like this, always. So with that being like that, when I'm not like this all the time, classical music does this to me,
Yeah.
and it gives me that solace that I need. So that's my choice. It just kind of it just and you don't classical music is something that you don't have to listen to because you feel it. You can feel it through you. Everything else takes you with it. You know, and I got enough of that. I do enough of that on my own. I don't need nothing else taking me any faster than I already go.
There's a young man that I had on my show by the name of Demetrius Loizos. You can find him on Instagram. One of the most beautiful blues guitarists I've ever seen in the world, other than B.B. King. This
Wow.
man, he lives in Paris, France, and I had him on my show. He's a German that lives in Paris, and it's kind of crazy. But I had him on my show, and the world fell in love with him. And I never in a million years thought I would get somebody like that on my show, and that my audience would appreciate him, but they did. But brother, we got 4 minutes left before I kind of, I know you got to get,
Okay. Okay.
but I want to ask you one of the greatest things that's been in my heart. I know what this walk's meant to me. I know what the fighters mean to me. When I know I've asked people this question before, but I've never got the analogy from you. I know what I see in the mirror. I know what I see when I look back over my shoulder. I know what I feel when I'm creating something for somebody. What does Burt Watson see when he looks over the shoulder? Now, what do you see in that walk that you created? What is that moment, and where does it truly sit in the heart of Burt Watson? Because there's only gonna be one Burt Watson. When you walk away, there will never be another one. You're the only one, baby. The only one.
Glad it makes me happy to hear that there's one. And I look over my shoulder and I see memories, good ones. And I told you earlier, I don't have any other than over the course of my career, a few people that I've worked with as young people that have passed on, and which I knew, and God rest his soul, Stephen Bonner, younger people that passed on before me, because everybody else around me, around my time with me, is only me standing. And that's sometimes I look at that and I'm like, shoo, where the heck, but I'm proud of that and happy of that. And I don't, as I said, the one good thing, knocking on wood, is that I have nothing bad to say about it, you, our relationship, the people I've met during the course of my career, the things I've done, the places I've been, the things I've seen. Only certain people can put that in a book.
Yep.
And I've seen it, and I'm getting ready to put it in there, and I'm getting ready to do that. But I've always appreciated you. Appreciate being on your show and your friendship and everything. Whatever I can help you, I'm here for you. You holler at me, baby. You know that.
Oh, yeah. You know it. One of these days, I want to get a copy of that Champions Forever, but I know you ain't going to take it out of the frame to get a copy. So I know that hell will freeze over before I get a copy of that.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. I might send you. I got a copy. The only one with me in the middle is one of them. Don't be surprised, my man.
Yeah. You know, a tremendous man in
Thank you.
life that you are, bruh. You just are. But my brother Phil Dell, he says, love watching you two wise men talk about life. Much respect. God bless. You know,
Appreciate you, baby.
that's the only man I know that can go picture for picture with me and people in this sport. You know, he really can't. I mean, because I know everybody, but
Yeah,
that
yeah.
man right there, actually, he's got pictures with you. He's
Really?
got video with you. Yeah,
Wow.
he.
Wow.
I'll find it and I'll send it to you. And
Okay. Do that.
Jonathan Cole says, "That's great, Burt. I'm looking forward to getting a copy with a Burt Watson endorsement." You know, we gonna sell this book, bro. But before we leave here tonight, I just want to let everybody know today is the 3rd year anniversary of the loss of my brother Paul, the polar bear of Maryland's. He fought in UFC 1 and 2, and then 3, 5, 6, and 8, I believe. And we lost him 3 years ago to COVID and then to an infection because he was so big. He was 6'8", 340 pounds. They had to redesign the octagon for this
Yeah.
man, and they couldn't turn him, so he caught an infection. He died more from the infection than he did from COVID. But today is the anniversary of his passing, and I just want to wish him a beautiful rest in heaven and let
Yes,
him
sir.
know that we will always remember him on this walk and in this life. Burt, you're the epitome. I needed this show, brother. I,
My man. And
I
you cut into my time, and I would only do that for you. Much love. Appreciate you, baby.
much love, man. You have a good night, baby. God bless
Thanks.
you. And you tell your
Peace.
wife,
And peace to your audience, man. I love you guys. Thanks for always
love you,
listening, baby. I'll let you know
always,
about that
baby.
book.
You got you. Love me some Burt. He got it. His, bruh. Thank you, Jonathan. Uh, um, bro. Hey, man. When it's real and it's love, that man has been in my life my whole walk in this sport, bro. It's like, thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that, brother. Uh, I'm just, I don't know. It was like this week I had two young fighters on my show, and they were green, and so it's like I love the youth. I'm gonna keep giving the youth opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. This world has gone so crazy. All I ask is don't let the hate drag you down. Don't let the hate change you. Be who you are. You don't have to answer to anybody but yourself. You know, Having a relationship with Bert and the people that I do in life, I created it because I was a quiet man. The most quiet man in the room is always, not always the wisest man in the room, but you get opportunities to see, hear, and understand. And Bert Watson has taught me so much. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the one and only Burt Watson. And then I correlated so many friends along the line, like Jonathan, Giovanni, Gordy, Phil Dell, all of you, and thank you for making my life a blessing. And I understand everybody calls me a living legend and a legend, and titles come and go, but my heart will always stay. My heart is true. My heart will always be true. You know, if I can help you out, I'm going to. So if I could leave you with a thought tonight, don't go to bed with hate in your heart. If you can feed an enemy, then feed an enemy. If you could take care of a stranger, take care of a stranger. Life is a trippy place right now, but you don't have to let it drag you down. With all that being said, have a good night. God bless, and thank you for enjoying my show. We call it a chop up session with Burt Watson, but I needed this. With all that being said, I love y'all. God bless you. Have a good night. Peace.